Mom just called and said she's frying fish tonight. And you know what that means? We're going to need Dad's tartar sauce. Grab a seat. I'll show you how to make it. What Dad can do. Tartar sauce is great for folks who don't like the sweet tartar, like me and my brother. You're going to need a cup of mayonnaise. I use Duke's. There's no better mayonnaise than Duke's. There's always an argument about mayonnaise, but Duke's is it. Don't trust anybody who tells you anything otherwise. The next thing we're going to need is some dill relish, not the sweet relish. I don't like the sweet stuff. Next thing you're going to need is some finely chopped onion. Got some that were diced already, but we're going to have to finely chop those in just a moment. Behind that, we're going to need lemon juice. The recipe says you can use capers if you want. I don't like the capers, but we'll need Dijon mustard. Anybody have any Grey Poupon? We'll also need some finely chopped dill. All right, so dill's going to go in it also. All right, first thing we need is a cup of mayonnaise. Now, I'm just going to shovel it in nice and tight. This is the base. Now, I use a lot of mayonnaise because the sauces and stuff that I make are all mayonnaise based. All of the sauces you get from, say, Raising Cane's, or there's a few others, but they are mayonnaise based. So I'm going to pack it all in here. All right. Got a full cup packed in there. And we're going to go ahead and add that to our bowl. See that all in there? 1 cup of mayo. All right. Next thing it's asking for is 2 tablespoons of finely chopped pickle relish. Again, Mount Olive's what we're using here. You can use whatever you want. But 2 tablespoons. I kind of compact it just a tad bit here. Drain the excess juice out of it because it tends to make the tartar sauce soggy, and I don't like that. So I press the excess juice out, scoop it. That's 1. And 2. So that's going to be our dill pickle relish. Now the next thing is a tablespoon of lemon juice. One tablespoon of lemon juice. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. All right. It wants a single teaspoon of Dijon mustard and 1 teaspoon of dill. So we're going to go ahead and take the teaspoon, and we'll do the dill first because it's dry. Otherwise, we'll stick after we get the mustard in there. All right. I'm using the dry dill. If you folks want to use the fresh dill, that's fine. All right. And now the Dijon mustard. I'm using Grey Poupon, but you folks can use whatever you want. All right, there we go. All right, so those are all of our ingredients except for the finely chopped onions. We need a tablespoon of that. So it won't take a whole lot to make our tablespoon. You only need one of these worth of the finely chopped onions. So I'm going to cast a few out here, chop them up fine. I like my onions quite fine, so that way when I'm eating it, I get a little bit in every bite. I do process my foods and flavorings and additions quite fine because I like a little bit in every bite. I'm not one of those people who want a big surprise. So I like it everywhere. So I mince it up really, really small, try and get the flavor out there. Also, I tend to find that when you chop it real fine like this and it's fresh and it goes in there, it's able to release the onion flavor a little better than the big chunks. So the flavors will commingle a lot faster in your tartar sauce. Spread's easier too when you don't have big chunks. Okay, I think we're good. Let's make sure we've got a tablespoon worth. I'd say we do. I think the onion really wakes it up. So therefore, we're going to make sure we've got a nice compacted tablespoon worth. What good luck. Got just enough to make it perfect. All right, 1 tablespoon. Now, when you get all your ingredients together, I'll move this. You're simply going to fold it all in together and mix it until it's all blended well. Now you can see before we get going, all the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients are all in together. We're just going to fold it in and mix it until it's smooth. Kind of move it around a bit, making sure the dill and everything is kind of spread, and then here we go. So I'm simply just stirring it about until it all kind of mixes. Now you'll see it loosens up quite a bit, more like a spread than the thick mayo because of the lemon juice and the dill. They have fluid in it. And folks, we're all mingled now, and it's as easy as that. So here's where it comes be unique to you when you salt and pepper it. I use about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. My wife's favorite, the Himalayan salt. You want to be careful not to over salt it or let the salt take over the flavoring. I cast that out pretty broad and use the same 1/4 teaspoon for the pepper, but most of the time I don't use all of it there. Just kind of cast it about until I got a nice coating and my pepper looks somewhat like that. Folks can see that. So I don't over pepper it or over salt it. But you'll have to test it and see exactly what you like. And then stir that in with the rest of it. Now this part's going to be a little trial and error. Some people like a little more salt and pepper than I do. But I try to stay modest on those flavors so they don't overpower the other things inside of the tartar sauce. All right, good to go. Now I use a masonry jar with the easy removable tops to store it in the refrigerator. Now, this is good for a week, maybe a week and a half, something like that. So it's really, really nice if you're able to put it in the refrigerator and able to let it sit for a couple of hours before use. So all of those flavors will get all mixed around. Now I use the little funnel that I use for making jellies and everything and putting things inside of my masonry jar, because it makes it easy to get it in there without making a mess. So all I'm going to do is spoon it right on in. Quick, fast, and in a hurry, and it is delicious. If you're picky about your tartar sauce like I am and hate the sweet ones, this is the recipe for you. All right, so as you see, fills it up. Just cap it off and put it in the fridge. In about an hour or two, the flavors will be all together and it'll be ready to eat. If you love tartar sauce, give it a shot. Just another thing Dad can do.